Hey Bill, how you doing? It's Dave, man. I'm gonna start this recording and get her going. I've been waiting. There's construction right outside my door. They said they'd be about 30 minutes, about an hour and a half ago. So I'm not gonna wait any longer. We're gonna get with it. I'll try to cover a fair amount in here, but any particular things that you wanna cover, we'll go through that. So first and foremost, let's start over with the touch webinar you were talking about. Here it is. You'll find on the dashboard. Let me just go to the dashboard. Okay, a little slow with the Camtasia running. Okay, on the dashboard, right here. See that? Hit the red link. Pretty sure that's the one. Yeah, that should be it. Okay, and because there was a problem with the WNV, and you can just download the video. And when you do, that's where I walk through Think with Google Insights, Our Mobile Plan, etc., etc. So let me just give you a quick refresher on that. When you see, you'll probably remember this. This is just outstanding tool, and you can show the client. Like, for me, what I really like is the research library. Here's mobile sites drive growth for small business, a new report that they got. And you can have them come in. The nice thing about this is, and I mentioned it in the webinar a few months ago, is that, they don't got to take my word for it. They don't got to take your word for it. They don't got to take his word for it. The client can check this out for themselves. These are the facts. This is a relatively new study, and you can download that and go through it and see all the things, and it's all the stuff that we've talked about. So you'll find those links right here. And when you watch the webinar, probably about the first 15-20 minutes or so, that's where I cover a lot of that stuff. So that's step one. Now, why HTML5? This is a relatively new article. It was written back in November. And, basically, they count down the top 10. This is something a lot of people don't talk about, but accessibility. The reality is that HTML5, because of the way it's structured semantically, and because it has area, that's, like this. When I say semantics, this is what I mean, how it's dropping down: header, footer, nav, section, and they all kind of go down and down. And I'll show you, like, let me just bring up code so you can just see some code. As you can see, when I talk about semantics, it's just, things all flow in one to another for a reason. So let me scroll this up and close those, because I'm going to be showing you this code in a little bit. There we go. Makes it easier. Okay. So that's a huge reason why. So in other words, these built-in roles that exist in HTML5 and with area, which exists within, and by using jQuery and HTML5, what it's doing is that we have these specific roles, and that makes a much better experience for people, because if they have to use screen readers and they're blind, doesn't mean they don't have a phone, doesn't mean they don't visit sites, especially now when you can just talk to the phone. These sites will have much better accessibility. We won't worry about the video and audio support, because that's really growing. The fact that you can just use a video tag, but don't do that yet within the touch. The doc type, couldn't be simpler now than just doc type. Big reason is the cleaner code. Everything is very straightforward. That's pretty clean code. This is even cleaner. Okay. This is something that I'm going to be really implementing over the next little while. You don't want to stress too much with the client at this point, but really the mobile websites we'll be building with the touch are really building a web-based app. In other words, we're going to be able to store things locally, so that our website, once they kind of load it, and they can even make it an icon on their browser, on their phone, it'll store, and it can actually be, you can navigate the site offline. That's something that's really, really cool. And that's one of the strengths of using, data storage via HTML5. It locally stores, the drag and drop, all that good stuff. Canvas, I think I might have done it in that same video, because I only played the first portion to see if the technical stuff there that I need to know is there. But remember, I showed how you can literally build little games using a canvas tag that exists in HTML5. Very, very cool. The cross browser support, that's massive, and this is really where it steps away from some other choices in basic HTML coding and or doing native apps. Is just, an iPhone app's only for an iPhone, and an Android app's for an Android. Your web app, which really our sites are totally cross-browser. And as you can see, the number 2, so we're almost to the top 10. In the top 10, we're down to number 2. The second biggest reason is mobile, mobile, mobile. He says, call it a hunch. I'm with him. It was no hunch to me either. Mobile browsers have fully adopted HTML5, etc., etc. We use things like viewport. See here in the code. Let me just close that find and seek. Let me see the head. See, we use these type of tags, and that viewport makes a difference in how things look. Blah blah blah. Full screen. So those are some extra. And number 1 reason to use HTML5, it is the future. Period. Point blank. It's just the way it is. So that's one little thing you can go through. You'll find it right here. Okay, I'll leave it up there for a second like that. I'll let you see it. And you can Google top 10 reasons to use HTML5, and you'll find this by doing that. Okay, so that's, why HTML5? Why jQuery as a framework? As it says here, it's a top optimized web framework for smartphones, blah, blah, blah. The reality is it's lightweight code. It's built for progressive enhancement. All the abilities that it has to work and interact, and there's more libraries coming online all the time that play nice with this. So the ability in the coming months to expand using other ones is just incredible. Even on this page, as you go through the this here is called the 7 best mobile web frameworks. Sense of Touch, which is good for very heavy-handed stuff. I have Sense also, but very heavy-handed. The M project, really cool stuff. But they basically work with it. Other libraries are now connecting. Titanium, JTouch, and jQuery. So, why jQuery? It's lightweight. It's progressive. It's flexible. It's very widely accepted. It's very well supported, and it's just fantastic. So that's kind of why jQuery. Now I was talking about some other stuff you can do. We're already up to 8 minutes. I don't want to make this too long for you, but what I was talking about when I said there's things you can do by just changing some code. Let me shrink this up a little bit for us. Whoa, too shrunk. That's phone size. And actually, well, I'll go over it in a minute anyway, so oops. Let me drag that down a little bit. Okay. A little bit more. And that should be workable. Shouldn't be too narrow. When you're building things, like here's a site I just launched for a client. Let me just click the preview. This is a design I'm really starting to really like. I'm putting the logo. I'm using a horizontal rule. Of course, I'm I build them a theme first. But to make these little horizontal rules, I mean, you just use an HTML tag, and it's just less than HR greater than in standard HTML. Now, what's kind of nice is that, you know, how all of these things, as I'm just using an icon grid, and if they, you know, if they go to the about, the way I've been doing it is I had the logo, the horizontal rule, and I put a small icon grid for the main things that they wanted to happen, and then I put their text that they had. I'll go back. Oh yeah, when you're in the touch preview, don't use the back button here. Sometimes what happens is it triggers the whole browser to go back, and it can even do some messing with your theming. Not always, but I just on your phone use the back button, but in the previewer here, don't. The best way to preview and how I test sites is here's the site. Now, what you can do is in Chrome or in Firefox, you can get an extension called the User Agent Selector. And what that allows me to do is I pick, that's the Google Nexus 1. Well, if I want to see this on an iPhone, I just refresh. And what's really cool about this is if you can go to any website. Let me here's my Pro Football. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Here's Hey, that's not working. Give me profootball.com. So if I was going to profootball.com, and that's their big main site, and I wanted to see if a site is mobilized, a really quick and easy way is I come into here and I just choose a phone and I look at it on the phone, and this gives you a real true look. They don't have a mobile website. That's simple to know. That easy. So this is these guys' mobile. See, I'll show you. If I select the Chrome default and I refresh this, we'll go to their main site. Oops. Oh yeah, it's probably caching it. So sometimes the caching can be an issue, but I don't want to go too deep. But you can switch between them. Occasionally it will get cached and saved, and that'll cause you that little hiccup. Anyway, let me go back to the home and the services. Now you notice that popped. I'm not actually on the real site. Let me let me just open this up just so you can see. I uploaded their site for showing you into a test one because I wanted to show you that originally all of our transitions do that. You probably noticed that they always slide across. You can do more. We just haven't fully integrated those options. There are about a half a dozen different things they can do. Instead, you don't just slide, you can fade through like that. See how it fades? That slid. It can pop. Let me just refresh the whole thing. So I'll give you a really good clean view. If I do services, see how it popped? And if I do back, it unpops. If I do about us, it fades. If I do back, it unfades. So there's a variety of them, and how you change those is really quite straightforward. When you download your site, this is their site, download it. So there's nothing up in here you really got to worry about. Although this is where you can add other things. You can add meta tags for SEO purposes. Here's the body. So here's their data roll, the page, you know, it's their home page. So that's that home page. Now if I scroll across here, here is the home button, and there's the image for the home button. Again, although I just used it out of our upload library, always take the images and put them somewhere for SEO purposes. So here's the about page. See, there's about, there's the button. This is all standard. The only thing you need to add if you want to do cooler transitions is this one little piece of code. Oops, I kind of clicked it. Is that one little piece of code where we tell it what transition do we want. You know, that's all it takes. Let me could have arranged it a little bit better for you. There's data role button, home page, button, there we go. So here's the about page, and you just add data dash transition. Right after where it says the ending quote of the button, put a space, and you put data dash transition, and I used fade. There are fade, there are pops and flips and slides. Let me change this fade to a flip. So if you want to add some cooler stuff for certain projects, especially for some internal little things, it can be pretty neat. So I'm going to save that. And I'm going to refresh it here. I could do it locally, but I'm going to do it via the browser so that you can also visit that site yourself. I'm going to upload it. I'm going to overwrite it. There we go. I'm going to refresh this. And now instead of this fading, it should flip. See? Flipped. And it flips back. So there are all these very neat transitions. You can go to jQuery Mobile. I was playing around with the iframes earlier. jQuery Mobile. And basically with iframes, oh, by the way, for doing an iframe with YouTube, all you got to do is just make sure you use the old embed code. That's the most stable way to do it, to embed it. I find that 260 or 280 works good. 260 works really good because, and I center, when I put a center tag on the outside of this, I'll show you in a bit. And what happens is, because as soon as I click play, it pops open full anyway and takes up the phone, and then if they push back, it goes back, and when the video ends, it just pops back in. So you don't leave and go to YouTube, which is not a good thing, and you don't activate your built-in YouTube browser, also not a good thing as far as trying to keep the client, or keep the customer for the client in the user experience. So that's just a little crossover. If there's any one of these things, don't worry if I cover any of these too quickly, Bill. Just you can just write me back and say, great, Dave, I want to know more about that, or I want to know more about that, and I'll go over in more those specific things in more detail. So we were doing was just a quick search for jQuery, and let me just let me do like, well, actually, let me go to the whole thing, because you might as well see that you can almost any, not almost, pretty well anything here. There we go. Right. This is our framework. So from in here, you can get those codes if you want to have the those transitions and stuff like that, including pop-up dialogues. We can do, page transitions. Here they are. Fades, pops, flips, turn, flow. I don't think turn is included yet. Slide up, slide down, and this is the default that's across the board. These are the ones that you can change it to. That's the default sliding. So very, very cool, and you can check these things out. Flips, right, and it's doing dialogues, which is also something you can do. You can cause little modal windows to pop up by adding a dialogue. So if you come in here and you look around, like list views are really, really cool. You get all these different types of lists you can do. Built in, they also, these icons you can access right straight from the touch via the code that they have for them. I won't go too deep, but if you need to know that, just let me know. Let me show you a list. And this, like I said, this design I'm really happy with. Let me close it. Let me go to where I'd find a list. jQuery test. Now here's something really powerful that we haven't integrated yet. We have the list widget, but this is something connected to it but different. You have to do this manually with the coding. But I want to show you something here that's very, very cool. Let me preview it. This is able to, you can build lists. Now you hand code them. That's actually not the list I want to use. Let me show you the toggle. Is it toggle or is it? Which one has it? Yeah. This shows more of the availabilities. So in this case, this is a site would be having a large membership. So you get all these different things. And it's just a matter of building the lists. The cool thing is that this is built in. You try to do this on a native application like an iPhone app or an Android app. This is some hard coding, but this is so simple with jQuery Mobile and the way we've integrated it. So if I want to know, all the G's, I start typing and see how it starts sorting. Anything with GE, that's the only one. GR, A, S, A, D. Very cool. You can even also have above here, if you want it, you could have A, B, C, D, and click through them. And it would actually go to those groups. So that's a very cool thing. If someone has a lot of stuff, you might have a huge doctor's office with lots of doctors and stuff like that. Anywhere you might have a list, and it can be lists that are nested lists within lists, sort of thing. Is doable. You can see it's a list within a list. So don't worry about how it looks here in the staging, but when it's actually used, it's very, very cool. So if you have projects where you're going to have multiple lists, I can help you with that. Show you the code, and it's a really straight. Oops, wrong one. Cancel this code. See, it's just your basic thing. So we're just using the data rule. You'll get used to seeing this language, data rule, and we just use list view. And if I put this simple, all I add is data filter equals true, it will know, and it will build the search functionality and filter it for you. Very powerful. If you don't want it, you don't put it there, and they can't do that searching. And it's just like anything else. It's just an unordered list. And you just put like li, like any list is. You can have numbered lists, unordered lists, and to learn a lot more about that and seeing the samples, you can come in here and you say, I want to see a nested list, it'll show you these are nested lists because they go within it, right? These are nested. It continues right on down, and you can see all the different things, the different icons that you have at your disposal. These things over here, you can give counts. See, that has 4 in it, that has 12 in it. As soon as a list is nested, if there's something inside, this arrow naturally pops up. You can have numbered lists. It puts the numbers. You can have that thing that I'm talking about, the count bubble here. If there's 12 inside, you can create it so it has that little count bubble on the side if there's a reason. So there's lots of things here inside the jQuery framework that are not hard-coded yet into the touch as we move through these things and choose what's going to be there and what's not. But if there's specific capacities and abilities you need for specific sites you're building, then sometimes you can look on their main site and they wonder, wow, we like our menu to do this. Well, the power of coming in and using the list views to build very cool searchable menus or searchable specials, all kinds of stuff is there for you. So that's straightforward, and it's really just a matter of going in and changing, code. I encourage you to watch all the little videos, which I'm sure you've been watching. And if you have any specifics that you want to know how to do as you want to build the sites, just let me know. I will help you make sure it's done correctly. If you get a job that's a little bit above your capacity, I can have someone. You can use one of our people or Fernando or even me at times. I may not be as available, but we will help you, and that includes if you need to use one of our people as a bit of an outsourcer to get the job done. Not a problem. We'll help you out, and it'll, of course, there'll be no big heavy-duty markups. We'll just give them straight up what we'd pay them. You pay them. Now, before I finish this, I really want to point out a couple of quick things. One is Wufoo. Wufoo is a form thing. Wufoo integrates really well with MailChimp and lots of other things and BigCommerce. And why I'm showing you that is that there's no cost, immediate cost to the client using it. They get like 3 free forms. They can have, a donation form, right? Preview it, where they can collect donations. This can be wired to PayPal. This can also be wired to someone like BigCommerce. They do applications, reservations, booking. Wufoo, if you haven't seen Wufoo before, is just incredible. All the different types of forms that you can do are unbelievable. And the nice thing is that, it basically starts off free. You get the first, you get 3 free. It integrates so well. You got surveys and, like I said, employment applications, event registration, online order forms, party invitations. Look how nice, and they look awesome. As you've seen on the phone, they render really excellent. The cool thing is that they also integrate perfectly with MailChimp, which I'm really falling in love with. And MailChimp allows you to have up to 12, what is it? I think it's up to 1,200 people on your list for free, and up, or 1,200 mailings and so many hundred on the list. So if you get a client to implement this, it doesn't cost them an arm and leg to get started. They can have up to 2,000 subscribers, absolutely free, and 12,000 emails a month. And once they get to a certain level, then they can move up and also get a little other stuff. And the nice thing is that those two integrate like clockwork. You can build this form or lead generate or anything else, and it can be working in perfect concert with MailChimp. And if they're going to be spending money, if it's one of those things where you want to do commerce, I'm sold now on BigCommerce. And let me show you why. Here's their live store showcase. I opened up one of their jewelry stores. I opened up this one. Let me just open it. And I've tested this with my own mind. I took the 15-day trial, and I did some tests, and it worked just awesome. I'm going to invest in these guys. So here's their store. Well, the cool thing is on a phone. Let me make this more phone size. On a phone, here's their store. And you can add products. You can, you got your shopping cart. You can buy. The nice thing is that this integrates perfectly. Also, if they do any buying, if they use your cart, this integrates with MailChimp perfectly too. So you're gathering leads. So let's buy something. So if I come and I want to buy this, and I say, yeah, that's nice. I like it, and go to my cart. I got nothing in my cart. Go home. Let me try to buy a ring. It's okay. Let me see this spark ring. Oh, call for pricing. Well, they don't have theirs wired to actually purchase right there. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Maybe I can find a product. My products work perfectly. When I chose to buy, I was able to buy. It took me right through. There we go. Add to cart. So now it's been added to my cart. I have this item in my cart. I can keep shopping, or I can check out if I go to checkout. Full mobile experience. If I'm a returning customer, they've been there before, it'll do it. If they're not, you can check out as a guest, or you can register an account. Right? If they put this stuff in, you know what? It's going in here into your lists. So you can really do some cool stuff. So if you've got clients that want to do e-commerce, as you said, these guys got a lot of sites, so they probably got a lot of different styles of businesses. Well, obviously, probably with my help to a certain degree, you can handle it. Even if they have, a honking, jewelry store with a ton of products. Even, if they happen to be a charity and they do, events, and they do donations. As I showed you, we had the donation form here, right? They're able to come in and able to to make the donation amount that they want, right? 300, they want to give 300. There it is, right? And they go through it and they can choose. So the power is there. And the nice thing is these all work together nice and smoothly. So it's called BigCommerce. Outstanding stuff. So if you need information and getting set up with that kind of stuff, no problem. Figure out the needs of the client. Contact me and I will help you make sure that it's integrated correctly. I'll be doing videos and all this stuff. Basically, about 2 months ago, I realized that I was making a mistake. And a few years ago, I was on a team and we made the mistake. We went out and we bought a small company and started our own autoresponder and all that. It was a waste of money. It was a waste of time. We shouldn't try to be the be-all, end-all. Let Aweber do their job, or let MailChimp do their job. Let's let, why build a custom thing? Let's let, shopping carts do their job. BigCommerce, mobile-wise, works great. It doesn't have an affiliate system for if there's any need for affiliate sales. Then there's another really cool one I won't get into right now that integrates with BigCommerce, integrates with MailChimp. So this all can be working in concert and all be working via the phone site that you create for them. So that's a half an hour. I know I covered a lot of ground. Any specifics, watch the webinar. Watch that first half an hour or so, and that will remind you of all the cool stuff that's in the research library, the planning tools, the facts and stats, and all that good stuff. And when you see it, it'll probably refresh your memory. These are all the things you're going to want to know. MR Mobile Planet, things like that. That gives you all the charts. So that's it. 31 minutes. Or so, probably when I edit it, 30, and that's it. Wow. it was a lot to cover, and I know I missed tons, but I just try to give you as much as I can. That's why I certainly didn't want to try to write this. Better to show than to tell. So Bill, that's that. I'll type here, here's a link to a video, and then you'll have the video. Have yourself an awesome day. I'm really excited for you. And in any way that I can help you, I'm going to help you. It's that simple. And I know Fernando will be excited for you too. I can't wait to tell him. Have a great day. Or actually, wow, 5:23. Have a great night. Bye-bye.